Hi guys, it's Ray Newland here, the founder of Just for Keepers and Club GK. If you're attached to a soccer club in any way, please spend a few minutes just to watch this short video, because it will 1,000,000% help your soccer club, your club goalkeeper coaches, and more importantly your club goalkeepers. And also spend a few minutes to just have a little browse around the Club GK website to see what services that we offer your club. Now, before I mention how Club GK can help yourselves, I just want to mention a bit about Just for Keepers first. And also, actually first, I just want to mention as well, what Club GK is all about is putting the control of the coaching of your goalkeepers actually over to the soccer club. It's very important, guys, that you take control. We're not trying to take, by the way, we're not trying to take over your goalkeeping coaches or try to push them out. Far from it. I would never disrespect any goalkeeping coach as a goalkeeping coach myself, guys. In fact, it's only going to benefit your goalkeeping coach, because we are the biggest network of goalkeeping coaches in the world, and your goalkeeping coach can link into that, which can only benefit him or her and your club. But before I mention that, very briefly, who are Just for Keepers and why are we doing Club GK? Well, Just for Keepers is the leading and largest goalkeeping schools in the world. We've been going on for 15 years, within 21 countries across 5 continents, and we coach about 9,000 goalkeepers every single week. I'm also very proud to say that no other goalkeeping schools in history even comes close to the success that we've had for our goalkeepers all over the world. We've helped literally hundreds get to professional soccer clubs, and I've lost count of how many goalkeepers that we've helped get scholarships throughout the United States. Some of them have gone on and won top awards, some have become All-American, and then quite a lot of them have gone on and made fantastic careers of themselves because of the scholarship. Not necessarily in goalkeeping. We've just got one, a young guy called Nathan Dean's gone on to Wall Street, so we're just as proud that he's done that. It doesn't have to become a great goalkeeper, as long as they have a good career. That's all we want for our students. But not only did we get our goalkeepers scholarships, we then also help and advise them for free, because they become our friends, to be honest with you, and then we just still help and advise them through the coaching. So as I say, so it's something that we're very, very proud of. All the coaches in J4K are either semi-professional, professional, international. Some have played in World Cups. I was professional for 10 years. So we've walked our talk. Again, I'm not knocking goalkeeping coaches that have not played in goal, but all the coaches in J4K, we've walked our talk. So, I've played in front of thousands of people, week in, week out for 10 years. And there's a big difference, seriously, between playing and not playing, if that makes sense, as a goalkeeping coach. So that's a bit about Just for Keepers. I say, we're the biggest network of goalkeeping coaches in the world. We've been in the USA now about 3 years, but I'm now looking to personally bring that new head office to the USA. Reason being is I see a massive need for goalkeeping coaching in the USA. Now, am I saying we're the best? No, I would never be that arrogant. Are we unique? Yes. Is the other goalkeeping schools what we do? I've not come across anyone that does what we do. We're very, very unique with what we do, and that's mainly because of our global contacts. No one else has got those global contacts. Now, I've obviously I've made a lot of friends over the past 3 years being in the USA, and the biggest frustration from soccer clubs, guys, is the high turnover of goalkeeping coaches. Now, it's not the coach's fault, it's not the club's fault, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. And you've probably had it yourself at your soccer club, where a goalkeeping coach will come in, say, right, I'm doing it my way's the best way, which is the right thing to do, by the way. The goalkeeping coach is not being wrong by doing that, he's just being confident in his or her own ability. And if you're not confident, as long as you're teaching the correct techniques, and that's another subject I won't go into here, but you've got to be confident, or there's no point you being on the soccer field, okay? But the problem is, they'll come in, they'll teach all their techniques, all the goalkeepers will stand a certain way, they'll move a certain way, it could be right for some keepers, it could be wrong for others, but anyway, it's the same system will get taught by this goalkeeping coach. Then what happens, whatever reason, that your goalkeeping coach moves on, generally for a better opportunity, another goalkeeping coach comes in and goes, right, my way's the best way. And again, he or she's doing nothing wrong, the confidence and the ability, but this causes a massive problem for your goalkeepers. Please listen to this, guys. Even if you don't get involved with Club GK, you need to listen to this, guys, because this affects your goalkeepers drastically. Now, as a professional goalkeeper, I was fortunate enough to be coached by Gordon Banks, who was famous for making the best save in the world against Pele in the England versus Brazil game. I've worked alongside Peter Shilton for 2 years, who was the most capped English goalkeeper in history, and I've also Neville Southall, who was the Wales goalkeeper. At his time, he was voted the best goalkeeper in the world, and I was actually training alongside Neville for 2 years while he was voted the best goalkeeper in the world. And all those guys will tell you, and any goalkeeping coach, here's the key, that knows what they're talking about, they'll also tell you as well, the biggest headache for a goalkeeper is when a new coach comes in and wants to change the technique. If you're used to one technique and all of a sudden someone expects you to come in and do it another way, and unfortunately a lot of goalkeeping coaches think that goalkeepers can just change the technique. You can't. It's an absolute nightmare. And this is a massive problem. So as a club, if you're having a goalkeeping coach coming in once or twice a year, even though you won't see it as a club with the greatest respect, because goalkeeping is specialised, unfortunately the ones that get affected are your goalkeepers. And you'll probably notice, and watch out for this as well, when a new goalkeeper coach comes in and they are trying to change the techniques of the goalkeepers, your goalkeepers will let in a lot more goals. They'll drop a lot more, balls that they should catch. It's not your goalkeeper's fault. In fact, here's a word of warning here for any coach, guys, okay? Yeah, don't be blaming your goalkeepers. If a new coach comes in, do not be blaming your goalkeepers, guys, because it's not their fault. And in a way, it's not your goalkeeping coach's fault either. He or she is trying to do the best for them, but trying to change a technique, especially when you've got a technique ingrained in you, it's very, very, very difficult to do, guys, seriously. Okay, so but this is where the club GK comes in. The vision that I've got for soccer clubs, and obviously speaking to many soccer clubs over the years throughout the USA now, and working with some clubs already, what we want to do is create a system that the whole club can follow. Again, please don't think we're trying to take this away from your goalkeeping coach. They can get involved, they can take advantage of Just for Keepers as well, and so can your soccer club as well. Now, before I explain how it works as well, also by bringing J4K into your club will also attract more goalkeepers from the area. The great thing about J4K is not only do we develop goalkeepers, and there's a difference between training and developing very quickly. A lot of goalkeepers will train goalkeepers. What that means is they'll see a YouTube video, they'll go and do a coaching course, and then they memorise it, and then what happens then is they're doing a training session, and then that focused on, okay, what have we got to do next? They're missing out all the important parts, what they should be stopping the goalkeeper and correcting and developing, if that makes sense. So they're just putting a training session on. Now from the outside, an outsider looking in, you go, wow, this looks great, but unless you know what you're looking for the majority of the time, they're actually unintentionally doing more harm than good, sadly. What we do in J4K is we develop the goalkeepers. So the difference between developing and training is the difference between night and day, guys. I won't go into it here, but sadly, most goalkeeping coaches train goalkeepers rather than develop them. But the great thing about J4K, not only will we help your club goalkeeping coach develop the goalkeepers, if they're good enough, we will get them an opportunity. And going back to what I was saying before, we will also enhance goalkeepers coming to your club. We will attract goalkeepers, because what happens is, if goalkeepers know that Just for Keepers is at your club and they can come to your club, get developed, and then obviously if they got the ability, we can get them into our goalkeeperscholarship.com, our goalkeeperagent.com. They know we've got the contacts to get them potentially make a career out of goalkeeping. Now if you think, oh, that's nonsense, I'm going to try and educate you here, guys, without sounding arrogant. Put yourself in the position of a goalkeeper or the parent of a goalkeeper. Now please be honest, would you rather go to a goalkeeping coach or a soccer club that's got a goalkeeping coach that basically they just do the goalkeeping training once or twice a week, and then when they get to 17, 18 years of age, that soccer club or goalkeeper coach has got nothing for the goalkeeper, basically because they've got no contacts, and probably because they've trained them, not developed them as well. Or again, if you're the parent of the goalkeeper, if you see a soccer club in your area where you see goalkeepers going on to scholarships, professional clubs, and then you look into the soccer club and you see that they're attached to an organisation like Just for Keepers, the goalkeepers are getting developed, they're winning local awards, they're keeping clean sheets because they're getting developed, then all of a sudden they're making careers out of their goalkeeper, not necessarily a career, even if they use the goalkeeping to get a scholarship in a college, and then you go to Wall Street like Nathan Dean. Be honest, as a parent or a goalkeeper, which soccer club would you go to? Yep. Honestly, I'm telling you now, as goalkeepers, we're funny beings, to be honest with you. Most goalkeepers would rather go to a club that's at the bottom of the table, the league table, that can give them opportunities, than a club that's at the top of the table, that's winning everything, but they'll give the goalkeeper no opportunities, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I promise you, I know it's a bold statement. I can tell you this because I've seen it firsthand many times. Goalkeepers will be attracted to a soccer club where there's an organisation like the J4K that can give them opportunities, if that makes sense, okay? But again, do some research on J4K. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. I just want to talk about how the website can help your club, including obviously the coaches and the goalkeepers. Basically, it's a 24/7 education as well. So hopefully your goalkeeper will be humble enough to come in and work with J4K. Again, I stress, we're not going to tell them to do it our way. You know, we respect that they'll have their way. We'll just try and add to their skills and say, look, you know, here's thousands of hours worth of our session plans, our videos. You take out what's best. If you need help and advice, we're here to give you help and advice from the best in the world. So it'll help your goalkeeping coach as well. And it's 24/7. These session plans, these videos, the forum, we teach your goalkeepers the mental side of goalkeeper, which hardly any goalkeeping coach doesn't teach. Vital that you teach the mental side of things, but again, you've got to have been there to understand how to teach that. We've got free videos to do that. Everything's obviously free within the Club GK. So it's interactive 24/7 where, you know, your goalkeepers and your club can go to as well. And then what happens there as well, guys, just to quickly digress, so it doesn't matter what goalkeeping coaches come into your club, whether they come once a month, once every 6 months, you say to the goalkeeping coach, look, we've got our system, our goalkeepers and our coaches are used to the system, we appreciate your and respect that you're going to bring your bit of flair and your techniques into it, but look, we do not want you to sway too much away from the system that we've got within the club. Any goalkeeping coach that understands goalkeeping coaching, they will agree to that, full stop. If they don't, you need to ask serious questions, seriously. Most will understand, because most goalkeeping coaching, when you know what you're doing, is more or less the same anyway, seriously. It's just all done slightly different. It's just minute changes, guys, okay? So the great thing about that, as a soccer club, you now control your goalkeeping exercises, your goalkeeping the goalkeeping side of things, sorry guys, yeah. So it doesn't matter who comes in and out, the system stays the same, okay, yeah. So your club control the goalkeeping side of things, very important, and that way then, more importantly, your goalkeepers get to go one system, and I will honestly bet everything that I own that your goalkeepers will be in a better position. Doesn't matter what goalkeeper coaches come in, if they follow the same system, as long as it's the correct system, and our way will be the correct system, as long as they're following the correct system, they will be much better goalkeepers, physically and mentally as well, guys, okay, yeah. But also, another advantage of the Club GK as well, I'm pretty confident at the moment, and again, I'm not knocking you as a soccer club or the goalkeeping coach for this, is your goalkeepers might have 1 or 2 sessions, if they're lucky, 3 sessions a week. And what happens then, once the sessions are finished, you go, okay guys, thank you, go home, and that's it. Okay, so maybe 2-3 hours a week if they're lucky. That is not enough, seriously, not enough. But how cool would it be for them to still do the 2 to 3 hour sessions a week, but then they can go on to the Club GK and they can be doing the homework, because we're going to be doing things interacting with your goalkeepers as well. So it's going to be homework, to-do lists. So we're going to be getting them coming back. We're going to be giving like free goalkeeping gloves, competitions, etc. So we're going to give them incentives to come back to Club GK, but they've got to do things for it. They've got to put in the to-do list, the homework, so to speak. So it's now becoming interactive, guys. So instead of your goalkeepers getting 2, 3, 4 hours a week coaching, now all of a sudden they're still getting the 2 to 3 hours coaching, but now they're learning for maybe 10, 15, 20 hours a week. I'm telling you now, us goalkeepers, as I say, we're a weird bunch. Most of your goalkeepers will go on for 20 plus hours a week. Can you imagine how much they're going to improve, guys? So not only are they following a system, but also as well they're going to be able to get 24 hours 7 goalkeeping education, and it's a much better, guys. I know some goalkeepers go onto YouTube, and that is the biggest waste of everyone's time, guys. Going onto YouTube, seriously, it's a waste of time. Okay, so they're not going onto YouTube and wasting away. They're going onto a website that is designed by the best goalkeeping coaches in the world, the biggest network of goalkeepers. Sorry, the best. That sounded arrogant. Didn't mean that. Sorry, the biggest network of goalkeeping coaches in the world. That we do know what we're talking about. So that obviously they're going to learn, to be honest with you, from goalkeepers that have played at the highest level possible, guys. Okay. More importantly as well, as I say, sorry, also going to say as well, so the whole club, what I'd love, and this is down to your club to do this as well, guys, not ourselves, what we would love to do as well, this is obviously mainly for the goalkeepers and the goalkeeping coaches, but please encourage your coaches to get involved as well. Most coaches think they know about goalkeeping. I'm here to educate you guys. You don't. Unless you've played in goal at a high level, you don't. A lot of coaches say they think they understand, but they don't, I'm afraid. Put another way, I don't know if any of you have heard of Arsene Wenger, who's the Arsenal manager in the English Premiership. He's been one of the top managers now for over a decade. He actually went on TV and when they were speaking about his goalkeeper, and he actually stopped the interview and said, "Can I stop this? You're speaking about the goalkeeping. That is not my expertise. You need to speak to the goalkeeping coach because I have no idea." Now, when you've got Arsene Wenger, the Arsenal manager, saying goalkeeping, it's specialised, I don't know. For any coach who is not at that level, if they think they know about goalkeeping, they're very, 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 very naive. Okay. Very naive was it. So try and get your coaches involved as well, guys. It's very, very important. Okay, so that's me finished, more or less finished, guys. Okay, as I say, so just very briefly, you know, this website's here for the soccer club, you know, Club GK. It's there for the soccer club, so you can take control of your goalkeeping coaching, but without obviously, you know, putting your goalkeeping coach's nose out of place. You know, they're still very much involved. They'll still very much have a say in things, you know, but instead of the goalkeeping coach being on their own or they have an assistant, now, you know, how cool would this be? They can now tap into nearly 200 goalkeeping coaches in 21 countries. You know, if any goalkeeping coach doesn't think that's advantageous, something's seriously wrong there, to be honest with you guys. You know, when we've got goalkeeping coaches who've played in World Cups, and they say the best resource for their education is the Just for Keepers network. So when you've got someone who's played in a World Cup and the most capped goalkeeper, the most capped player for their country saying Just for Keepers is the best resource for their goalkeeping, I think anyone else to say otherwise is either arrogant, naive, or they just could be an absolute, you know, could be one in a million, and you know, you could be very fortunate as a soccer club that you've got a goalkeeping coach where, you know, you don't need Just for Keepers, to be honest with you. But I'll be honest with you, there's not going to be many goalkeeping coaches like that, to be honest with you. We're a rare breed, I think. But as I say, guys, that's me finished. You know, again, please do a bit of due diligence on Just for Keepers. Please have a good look at the Club GK, you know, and see what you think. It can only help your goalkeepers, guys. So as a soccer club, you know, what will happen is we will open you up to all our international our international contacts. And you can imagine when goalkeepers, you know, want to come to your club and you're trying to attract them, you can be saying to them, look, you know, yeah, we've got these fantastic facilities, we've got some fantastic coaches, we've got one of the best goalkeeping coaches in the area, and also as well, we're also linked in with Just for Keepers, which is the biggest global network for goalkeeping coaches. And if you come to our club, you work hard with our goalkeeping coach, you get yourself educated, you work hard, you could be the next Just for Keepers success story and be playing professional or maybe getting a scholarship. Okay, so again, I think that adds tremendous value to your soccer club, guys. If it's not for yourselves, guys, not a problem. I just hope you give it a chance. My life has been is all about helping goalkeepers, I'll be honest with you. So if I can indirectly, you know, if I can help your club and your club goalkeepers indirectly help your goalkeepers, if that makes sense, I'm fulfilling my dream, guys. Okay, guys. So hopefully you give us an opportunity, because the only ones that are it's just gonna help at the end of the day is your goalkeepers, guys. Okay, so have a good look at the website, guys, and hopefully I will get to meet you personally one day, because another thing that I will happily come and do as well, once you get to know yourselves, if you need me, I'll also come in and do some goalkeeping sessions alongside your goalkeeping coach. Again, stress, we're not here to take anything away from your goalkeeping coach. So this is not just going to be a website where it's, you know, it's just a website. This will be personal as well. If you need to speak to me, it'll be me personally emailing you back. We could Skype, etc. You know, this is going to be a personal thing, guys, as well. So hopefully, you know, as I say, you know, you get involved and we get to meet you one day and help your club. But more importantly, for me anyway, guys, and my organisation, is we help your goalkeepers and your goalkeeping coaches. So this is Ray Newland wishing you the best of goalkeeping, guys.